Hello and welcome to Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game.
I like playing games.
Yeah, I think I'm aware of that. Let's meet the panel.
I'm John.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Josh. Charlie, John, Jackie, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
Hey, what's that?
What are we going over today?
Macbeth by William Shakespeare.
Oh, exactly why we had you back on, Jackie.
My Shakespeare. I'm a very big Shakespearean buff, so this is gonna be fun.
That's what we try to have people that enjoy the different works. And so what's our first question?
Who do you believe is the most interesting character in this play and why?
I think Charlie and I know who the most interesting character is in this work.
Me! Just kidding. I think it was Lady Macbeth. Am I saying it? Macbeth?
Yeah, Lady Macbeth.
She's. I don't. How many of you read Macbeth? High school. I had to do Hamlet over and over and over again. But she was obsessed with washing her hands. I wonder why. So.
I think it's more so the fact that Lady Macbeth is a bit more involved as opposed to many of the other female characters in Shakespearean works. She was very orchestrating in the decision making, the fact that she had she was involved in the murder of King Duncan.
I absolutely agree.
Not King Dunkin' Donuts. Sorry.
I actually feel that Lady Macbeth was the driving force behind everything. Macbeth was very indecisive. He was shown as a weaker character, a weaker, especially being a weaker male character, which is what you don't really normally see in a lot of different literature. And she was the one making the decision, saying, if you want to be ambitious, if you want to become this great person, this is what you have to do. And when he tried to back down and say, oh, I'm not sure if I should, she's the one who actually calls him out, makes fun of him, says, what are you, a baby? Like, I would kill a baby in my arms right now. That shows that I'm stronger than you, that I will do what needs to be done. So that was mainly one of the things that I felt made her so interesting, was that she was such a strong, and especially strong-willed and hard-headed woman character.
Anyone to kill a baby would be.
Yeah, I think.
I know.
And
At
yet
that,
she.
at that time in society, the women couldn't achieve that power. You know, she had to get that power through him. You know, she was the puppet master. Everything that was being done, she manipulated. You know, she manipulated Macbeth perfectly.
She was kind of like Polonius in
And
Hamlet.
just as she had performed the act herself, she is the one who is ringing with guilt at the end and drives her crazy. I mean, the
Right,
reason she's
yeah,
just constantly
commit
washing her
suicide.
hands is that the blood is on her hands.
And get out damn spot. It's
Right.
just the spots of blood that she keeps thinking. And wasn't she sleepwalking while she was doing that too?
Yes.
She was having nightmares and trying to rub it out.
Then they had the doctor come in and say, yeah. Well, you know, I think of it as blood equals guilt equals sin, and
What interests me about Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, was when she first appeared in the play. The mention, the sexual mentions that she. I'll read it off. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. And then watching it as well. It's just that makes her even more
twisted.
to a degree, but it's a human trait, so I could say that much for a woman, but nothing. It's that she's not afraid to express herself, because most of the female characters in Shakespeare's works are very reserved and meek. She's absolutely not.
She's a strong Shakespearean character, and she will not back down. She's like me with a cookie. Or a drumstick pen. Shout out to my cousins. Thank you.
Goes to show you how she is dominant on every end of the spectrum. It sounds like you want to say something.
Oh no, I don't You pretty much covered everything that I was going to say. Like, she's very strong in a sexual sense. She's pretty much, I feel like that was Shakespeare's way of trying to break away from the mold of what women were supposed to be. Because as far as I know, Lady Macbeth is literally everything that the Renaissance woman wasn't. Like, she was very sharp of tongue. She was very, like Josh had said, sexually explicit, and was not as dainty as, let's say, like Ophelia, for example.
Picking the flowers. And,
Yeah, like she was easily
She was
manipulated.
the flower.
She was easily manipulated no matter
She's
what.
the
And
manipulator.
then you have Lady Macbeth, who's the one doing the manipulating. It's kind of like a role reversal in a way.
I think the only other strong woman I remember, this is to say I've only read a few,
Catelyn in Taming of the Shrew.
could have been her. I'm also Coriolanus's mother, Volumnia,
Mm-hmm.
or Volumnia, yeah. The fact that she was the one that called the shots for somebody who was this extreme war hero. But bring them our next question.
Mm-hmm. What role do you feel the supernatural characters, specifically the three witches, have in this play?
You go.
I actually, when I first read Macbeth in high school, something that my teacher had told us really stuck with me. I felt like the three witches were the three fates in a way. That was them kind of being reborn, saying, this is what could happen. And the fact that their, in a way, fortune telling or scrying was so obscure that it would say, what was some of them? One was the forest will come to like defeat you. Another one, you'll be defeated by someone who was not born.
Oh, someone that was not born of woman.
Not born of woman, and
Or
just
someone that, no, you will not be defeated by someone who was born of woman.
but
That's how it went.
I just thought it was really funny because the way that they laid it all out, it seemed pretty set in stone. Like, okay, this is what will happen. It will either happen or not happen. But then all the way at the end, it actually is kind of misconstrued away so that the fortunes do still come true, but not in a way that anyone had expected.
Because Macduff's mother had a C-section,
Mm-hmm.
which is really, really playing with things. I found that to be really witty. But because the whole play is about regret of one's decisions, and it's all about needing that assurance and just regretting what making these constant decisions and then having to cover them up with other things, killing King Duncan, and then there's this regret of doing so, but then you need to hold on to the seat and kill anybody who may very well interfere, which is how Banquo is offed by hitmen per se.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting that, it's always three, and it is the three fates. Because pretty much, as we progress through history and it becomes more about free will, the really important authors are constantly bringing back that notion of fate being an aspect of it.
I remember this one British one. You weren't in that?
I was
Swanson?
in it with
You
you.
were there?
Yes.
You were there? I was there.
I was in
Mentally,
another
I
group
was
with one class.
somewhat there.
You're thinking of the whole faith versus free will
Mhm.
discussion that she brought through the entire course.
Yeah.
But, even...
She let me eat cookies in class.
Even the death of Arthur, Morth Arthur, it's,
mhm.
the three women who carry him away after, at the lake. It's basically, again, the three fates. They're constantly intertwined.
Next question.
What do you see as the theme in Macbeth?
Ambition. One just blind ambition that you will do whatever it takes to get what you want, even if it has to be killing your best friend, manipulating someone, killing as many people as you need to get to that certain point. Ambition in some people can become so overpowering that it overpowers their instinct of what is right, what they should not be doing. So it's very, very powerful.
I also think it explores the regret of that ambition too, because Macbeth is filled with this regret it drives him crazy, makes him see things. The ghost at the dinner, Banquo's ghost, how he goes off the wall. And then Lady Macbeth, enduring this bout of regret that leads to her suicide, which she may be a strong character, but
She's power hungry.
she is power hungry, but it doesn't deal with the fact there are some people, they become so power hungry that their mind gets so boggled that there is no feeling of remorse. With them, it's eating them inside.
It's eat or be eaten.
It's making them weaker too.
Yeah, to me, I think it's about, it's not the destination, it's the journey. If he has this fate, how he arrives at that fate is what changed the story.
Mm-hmm.
He still arrived at the fate. He became king. He had but had he not killed Duncan and arrived at the king in a more, more natural state, that it was more accepted,
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have faced the enemies that he faced. He might not have died at that time. And the other people's fates would have still, so the fate was going to happen. So if you're focused on the destination instead of the journey, it's not going to be, a pleasurable experience.
Yeah, that is true. That's exactly the case. Destinations or journeys usually are not free flowing. It is a journey to the way that there are obstacles.
And they're a great band.
Very, very punny. Already. Anybody have any final thoughts?
It's a great read.
You would have a little bit more to say about that.
I actually, I feel like everything was covered so far. Yeah, I actually do not have anything else to say about that.
You love Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I know that this and Othello were two of your recommendations in the Hamlet episode.
They were two of my recommendations. I've seen Macbeth perform about 3 times, which I absolutely love. I feel like though, I now realized something that I almost forgot about. The comedic, what is it
Order?
called?
Oh, the comedic
I can't. The comic relief.
comic relief.
There we go. With the woman who's a narrator, she comes in every now and then and tries to make jokes throughout the play. No?
I would know about comic relief.
I
Okay,
know
thank
what
you.
you're talking about.
Our video person knows what I'm
I
talking
thought
about.
Porter was the comic
I have
relief
one.
with how he was mocking everything that was going on.
Well, there's that, but there's also one specifically for the audience to make the audience feel more at ease with everything that was going on throughout the entire play. Because I remember when I saw it performed once, my friend who'd never read Macbeth was just sitting there saying, "Oh, it's so serious, I don't understand this." And then when the comedic relief would come in, he'd start cracking up, and it would just be a giant icebreaker that would also give them some time just to step back, say, "Okay, it's not serious all the time," and get back into the play.
You need comic relief pretty much in everything. That's just my opinion. Even though I'm punny, still, Even in the Titanic, I think there was comic relief.
But in that case,
It
it
was
doesn't
dry
help that.
comic relief, but yeah, I know.
There
If
was
it
some
works,
minor
then it
stuff.
helps
A
out.
little bit. Yeah,
But
that's what it's there for.
already. If you're interested in checking out Shakespeare's
book.
complete plays, here is the edition that I got at Barnes & Noble. It is from Fall River Press. And it has every play of his that begins with the first part of King Henry VI, and it goes all the way to King Henry VIII. It doesn't have Two Noble Kinsmen because he did not write the play. It's alleged that he did so, but it was completely Fletcher. Be sure to join us next time for another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.